Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on Mechanical Ascension X. We are here with a tier list. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't have a tier list built on my base, I don't think I can build them with the very low number of teleporters I have. I mean, I could probably build an orange square out of 13 I have, and Jesus Christ, I managed to place all 13 of them down in arrow shape. Anyway, shadow items. I finally got all 17 of them, ignore, and yeah, I'm going to rate them all. Starting with the furnaces. God Frogger. Community says this is the worst shadow item. I disagree, I think there's one worse than this. This would be this would be D tier. The one that I think worse this is the Gaelic Castle because you need luck to make it actually work. F tier. Get that thing out of my sight. And now the final furnace, which isn't even a furnace, it's more of a portable upgrader. The Flared Phoenix. This goes in A tier. It's not the best, you still need to use a mine with it to get to actually upgrade your ores. It's 30 times, it takes up a little bit of space. But it's also a portable that isn't particularly hard to use. You just drop it, you just put like a stone mine in it and boom. Your ores getting upgraded. Alright. We're going to now review the only mine in the shadow tier, the Discharge Amplifier, which is easily, I would say easily S tier if this was pre-Ascension. Now with all the new mines and stuff, it's kind of been relegated down to A tier. It's always get weaker over time. It's 100 sextillion, which when you get it, yeah, it's a pretty hard carry, and it carried me through pre-Ascension. So pre-Ascension, yeah, this mine's one of the best in the game. But once you ascended, and you unlock abominations and stuff, you can get way better mines than this. And, I'm sorry, I dare say one mine, I meant there's two. The Chameleon mine, which I don't have so I have to pull out its Ultra, the Camouflage mine. This is S tier, simply because it can mimic the closest mine and gain its value, and then multiply it and the drop rate. So you can just place down your best mine, and then put this here, and it's basically a portable upgrader at that point. Alright. Now with all the furnaces and mines out of the way, it's time to get into the upgraders. Starting with Voltage. Now, Voltage used to be one of the best buff graders in the game, but a lot of the upgraders that it buffs got nerfed in the Ascension update, so Voltage is relegated down to A tier. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a very powerful buff grader, especially when paired with Astral Planet to nullify Electrified. It can be pretty useful. Next up is the Viral Infector. I don't think anyone's going to disagree that this is going in the S tier. It's a portable. You can place this above other items, so it's not too hard to fit this in your setup. And it does 45 times. It gives you all bioradioactivity, but that's nothing a polonium polisher can't get rid of. And it's just overall a very good portable. So yeah, S tier. Vanta Black. This gives your ore night emulation, as well as making it very dense, useful for some very high-powered upgraders. S tier. Easily one of the better shadow items in the game. Oceanic Piano. This would have gone in S tier if I didn't have a personal grudge against the item. The main reason it's going in A tier is because it doesn't actually time warp holographic, which is a pain in the ass to deal with, so I can't use kinetic abductor with it. But it does time warp other items like space-time dilator, which can make it a very powerful upgrader, and you don't have to wait the whole minute for it. Forbidden Song. This thing is going in A tier. It's got a decent upgrade and it's a buff grader of medley items, and there's enough of those in the game to where this is very powerful. It also plays its Raining Tacos, so that just makes it extra great. Alright, Maritime Meteorology. This is more of a B tier upgrader because you need to put this at the start of your setup to get the full upgrade, otherwise it kinda sucks. Immortal Glow. This is one of the nocturnal items that Vanta Black buffs, but when you don't have Vanta Black, it's a very inconsistent upgrader. This is going in the B tier as well. It's going in B tier because it's a portable, but it's still very inconsistent, and the multiplier on its own is quite low, but it can get quite high, especially when it's buffed by Spooky, but it's buffed by Ghastly, buffed by Radiance, and Nocturnal. So, yeah. There's some really good upgrades if you have all of those buffs. Next up is the Gnomic Atonement. This one is... I'm dropping this one to the C tier because of its special abilities. It's got a lot, and it can get up to a pretty high max MPU if it's buffed by Ghastly. The problem is its resize. This can be pretty bad in setups, especially since you probably want your to be very size specific, and also Screams of the Damned. It propels all forward when the anti-upgrader. It's nothing too detrimental, but it can be annoying. It can also be cancelled out with after image, so yeah, it's C tier. It could be better, but it also could be worse. Next up is Fixture Park. This is going in C tier because it's only useful at the very beginning of a prestige if you're like farming for an astronomical or something, or farming for ultras, because it's not going to be very useful past that. And you do need a powerful mind to actually get it up there. So actually, I think I'm actually going to move this down to D tier because you actually need a powerful mind to actually farm for him. Otherwise, this thing's pretty much useless in the late game. I mean, if you get this early enough to the point where it could be useful, then yeah, it's very useful, but it's kind of like the Godfrog. It has its niche uses, but there's way better things than that. Dragon's Fury. No one's going to disagree that this belongs in S tier. It is the best portable in the game by a mile. It has a base upgrade of 20 times. It has Dragon Fire, which is basically another Fettered Lord, so which can buff up to 100 times, and it's buffed by Curse, so use a Tartarus before this and you gets up to 150 times from a portable. Yes, 35% destroy rate, but that's nothing a Clove Abomination can't solve, or a shield. So yeah, use this item if you get it. It's very good. Crimson Edge, another S tier. Why? It's basically reverse maritime. It gets better the more upgrades it goes through, and its MPU when it's at its maximum is insane, 2.1. So use this at the very end of your setup and you'll get the best multiplier out of this, especially if you have a lot of upgraders. And last but not least, the Chick Hideaway. This is a buff grader first for bubbly items. Now, there's not really that many bubbly items that can really get buffed from this. The upgrade is about similar to the Forbidden Song, so I'm going to put this in the B tier. Mainly because there just isn't many soapy items. It does have an MP... Actually, I'm going to move this to A tier, just because it has an over 2 MPU on its own. And it does buff up bubbly, as I said. And there are some bubbly items that are pretty good, such as the amalgamation of the Floppy Flounder, the Strenuous Mauling Shark, which I managed to get. It's 12 times normally, and when and you buff it up with Chick Hideaway and it becomes, what is that, 18 times? Yeah, 18 times from a portable. But, yeah, A tier, pretty good item. And that concludes the shadow item tier list. In S tier we have the Chameleon Mine, the Viral Infector, Vanta Black, Dragon Cherry, and Crimson Edge. A tier, Flared Phoenix, Discharge Jumpfire, Voltage, Oceanic Piano, the Forbidden Song, and Chick Hideaway. B tier, Maritime Meteorology, Immortal Glow. C tier, Gnomic Atonement. D tier, Godfrogger, Fixture Park, and F tier, Gaelic Castle. So yeah, if you think any of these ratings are wrong, leave them down in the comments below. If I'm forgetting something, it doesn't exist. That's simply the rule of Mechanical Ascension X. If you forget something, no you aren't, it doesn't exist. Yeah. And just ignore the fact that this is actually an Ultra Shadow. It's because I got it when I was trying to get the regular Chameleon Mine. Look, I can't bother going to farm for a regular Chameleon Mine just for this video. I'll use its Ultra that can't be seen from 50 studs away. Alright, that's the end of the video.